program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer of 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Special meeting of the White Pine County Commission, November 17th, 2021.
This isn't quite our first rodeo, just in general.
Yeah, just like to give you
But I
the
appreciate
opportunity.
that.
Yeah. Just taking guys off mute, just so you're aware.
Yep, you should click it.
It wasn't the city's first rodeo either. Stepped in pretty good.
Yeah.
What the date is? I'll tell you about it later.
Testing, testing. This is the first time I've seen this, Elizabeth.
Yes,
It's
I'll be running
very,
through that.
yeah, very informative.
It looks like it's right at 9 o'clock, so I will, everybody ready then? Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, November 17th special meeting of the White Pine County Commission. Would you all please stand and join us in the pledge? And Shane, why don't you lead us today?
Certainly. Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as is our normal procedure, we'll take the first moment in this meeting for silence, prayer, meditation, whatever you like. So please take this first minute. Okay, we'll go into the regular meeting, and the first item on the agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment on the phone? None. Seeing none in the audience, there's not much here. George, I guess you're right.
Yeah, not much here.
Okay.
Thanks. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item 1, you're to conduct interviews with job applicants for the proposed county manager position. I want to repeat my concern that a county manager position should be considered only if you reduce the county commission by 2 members. The county ran for decades with 3 commissioners with a larger population. Now we have a smaller population and 5 commissioners and now a proposed manager. The county is too top-heavy now. I've been watching the county, I've been watching the city for years. The only thing that's growing in our area is government, and it needs to stop. Of the 2 individuals interviewing today, only one has the proper credentials and expertise to qualify for that position. The other one does not have his experience is in a totally different field. The county has nepotism issues that have not been addressed to date. County manager needs to be fair and balanced, not a good old boy. I want you to keep that in mind. Mr. Chairman, I'm still waiting for your written response in regards to the ingress egress where Avenue D access Highway 93. The ingress egress does not meet minimum street standards, nor is there proper ADA access. A safety issue. It hasn't gone on for a day or two, it's gone on for years. You need to address that. I've yet to receive any information in regards to this matter from you or your fire chief. How much longer do I have to wait? Mr. Chairman, I've yet to see anything on the status of the victims fund. The people being harmed in this community, they're not getting anything back. You've got COVID monies, other government monies coming in. You need to address those issues. Mr. Chairman, the state highway is still causing any problems on Great Basin Boulevard. They're not adhering to their administrative code. In particular, access on 2.6 and ADA on 2.7. On my property on the west, far west end, they cut off my access. When you walk off the parking lot, you step down or drop a foot. It was 6 inches before. If they screw up, they need to take care of it. You've got to tell those people, get that liability off my back. I've had meetings with 4 different engineers, including the city engineer, the local state engineer, and the 2 project engineers. If they don't know what the hell they're doing, they need to get the hell out. I'm being blunt. I don't like the liability that they put me in. Here's a photo before. I was able to transition on and off without a problem. Talk to their ADA person, Peter Shaw. Find a person in a wheelchair and sue them. Here's Avenue D. You chip sealed that, no curb gutter, sidewalk, no ADA access. We have rules and regulations, Mr. Chairman. You need to step up to the plate. I've gone to your planning commission on numerous occasions. You can't have animals within the city limits. They're ignoring that. Get rid of that board.
That's a city thing, but you're 3 minutes.
No.
Thank you, George.
This is a county issue also.
3 minutes, thanks, George.
I need some answers.
Thanks again. Okay, is there any other public comment? Does anybody on the phone have anything to say? Anybody in the audience? No? I'll do one quick public comment that I'd like to add. And yesterday, the special session of the legislature ended, and White Pine County remained whole, and White Pine County is happily moving up to CD2, which is held at this present time by Mark Amaday. So they'll finish their terms, and with this election cycle, we'll be voting for a candidate from CD2, and I'm very pleased with that. And thank you to this commission for acting on it and sending a letter to our representatives last Wednesday, unanimous. So that is some really good news, and we look forward to our new, I guess, seat or whatever you want to call it on the CD2. So that's all I have. That's all I wanted to put in there. And with that being said, and public comment now ending, we will go to the first item, which is on page 2. And item 1 is discussion, presentation, interviews. It will be facilitated interactive session for interviews, presentations with county manager job applicants, Elizabeth Francis, Human Resource Director, Elaine Eldridge, Human Resource Director, and Alan Calt, Chief Financial Officer for Pool Pact. And at this time, I'll turn this meeting over to Elizabeth, and she'll give us some direction, I guess is a good word.
Okay, thank you very much. So I did hand out a few things this morning to help us as we go through this process. The first thing is the job description for the county manager. This is the position, just in case you needed to refer back to why we are hiring this position and what we were looking for. You know, it says under here the distinguishing characteristics are the county manager is responsible for the leadership, supervision, and management of county staff and management of county resources consistent with the administrative and policy direction of the board and development of county human resources. So that, in a nutshell, is what we're looking for in this person, and it kind of outlines some of the essential job functions and the knowledge and skills that we were looking for. So just as a reminder, I put this in. I know that we just went through this in September, but just to refresh your memories and have you be able to refer back to it if you wanted to, I have handed this out this morning for you to utilize during the process. The second thing I would like to go through just quickly is potential interview rating errors and problems. And this is something that's put out by POPAC Human Resources. And I just want to kind of touch on these different errors that can be made so that we try and be as objective in the process as possible. The first one is what's called the halo horn effect, and these occur when you get an overall impression, either favorable, a halo effect, or unfavorable, a horn effect, and is obtained from an unrepresentative portion of the total information available. So that's kind of like stretching one thing that really hits you and letting that be an overall umbrella for how you're focusing in or judging the other characteristics. So you want to look at each question individually as we go through this process and think about their responses to each question and each different subject matter. And then there's another one that's the central tendency, the leniency, or the severity, and that speaks to how are we rating these individuals? Are we being very harsh because we don't want to overjudge? Are we being really lenient because we think they're just walking on water? Or do we just stay right in the center because we don't want to over or underjudge? You want to be fair and judge each individual answer independently of the other, and look at how you're evaluating the person and not leaning one way or the other in your thoughts. You want to really just look at each individual subject and then use the entire format. Are they doing really good, or are they doing really bad, or are they somewhere in between, and not trying to stay on one end or the other end of the spectrum for everything if you don't think it's appropriate. So then deficiency talks to when in one way or another the evaluation process does not fully or accurately assess the candidate's skill or fitness for the position. So we kind of address this by doing a thorough job description. We worked on that for several meetings. And when we got through that process, so we know what we're looking for, and you have an understanding of what we're looking for, and making sure that we're applying for these things that we need for this position to the process of the interview. So you want to make sure we're not taking this from an interview and an effective evaluation of our candidates into a popularity contest. We want to look at those knowledge, skills, and abilities and make sure they have what we need to lead the county forward as the county manager. And then the other one, the final one, is a similar to me and different from me effect, and pretty much we want to make sure that we're separating this person from ourselves. Well, I would do that better, or I comparing them to ourselves. We want to compare them to the job description and those knowledge, skills, and abilities that we have defined they should have. So I just wanted to kind of bring those 4 areas to your attention so that as we move through the process of the interview, we are being very objective on each subject for each candidate with what we're hearing today and seeing today, and ensuring that we're giving each candidate their full process. So any question on those? Okay. Then the next thing I gave for you, in each one of these is labeled. You have 2 interview forms, and one is for Edward Dickey and one is for Michael Weevil. Those are 2 finalists. Their candidate names are right at the top. These sheets are solely to assist you with documenting your thoughts as we proceed through the interview process on each candidate. So we will be asking a series of questions, and each one of those questions is listed in the order they will be asked. And there's space for you to write your notes and your thoughts so that when you start deliberation between the 2, you have put your thoughts down somewhere you can refer back to if you feel that will be helpful for you. The last 2 pages of the form, or the last, yeah, pages 7 and 8, do not follow questions, but follow behaviors and performance during the interview. So they don't deal with specific questions, but communication, interpersonal sensitivity, problem solving, decision